The Water and Sanitation Department has come under fire for underspending on its R2 billion budget allocated last year. The Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation has criticised the department for not doing more with the budget, especially given such important challenges as water access and filling posts needed for the smooth functioning of services. Now, the chairperson of the committee, Robert Mashego, joins us now for more on the story. Robert, great to have you with us on the program. I mean, it's incredible to think that in a department such as the Water and Sanitation Department, that they would be underspending, given the desperate need of so many communities insofar as clean running water and sanitation is concerned.
Good morning to the listeners, and good morning, South Africans. Indeed, we, on behalf of yourselves and the communities at large, we raise this discomfort with the department as they present the report to us, being an annual financial report. We in the APPs, we passed 17.7 billion rand that we needed to spend over the year under review. Only 15.3 billion rand was spent. 2.2 billion could not spend. 2.5 billion could not be spent. And we were very worried because, as you correctly so raised, South Africans are yearning for water. Infrastructure of water is aging. That we know, it's not something that is happening today. It was there. Our plan was supposed to speak to that. But the department did try to explain. Yes, we heard what they said. With that in mind, we still say they could have done better. They could have planned better. For instance, issues of the filling of posts, issues of RBIG, that money given to municipalities, issues of the Vaal River system. It's something that when we came into the office on 2019 was an issue. Why is it still an issue today? They explained. We are not necessarily comfortable with the explanation. That's why we were worried that we need to talk to South Africans and raise our discomfort about 2.2 billion is really a lot of money. That's our view. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I mean, to add insult to injury, I think, is this figure of irregular expenditure in the department, 9.3 billion rand for the department's main account and 8 billion for the water trading entity. So on the back of this underspending of its budget, there's a significant portion that has been spent, that's been spent irregularly.
Yes, though the figure, that figure is compounded. It's a figure that is coming up with from the previous term of office. But what is of importance to your worry is that we remember when we were given the budget since 2019, we slashed our budget to pay back those debts that were there. Some of them, for instance, your war on leaks budget, which was never in the budget. It was pronounced by the President Zuma then. The department was supposed to actually budget for, they couldn't. So, yes, in the financial year under review, that element of under expenditure and flow expenditure has not gone down, it has gone up a bit. So it has compounded to the two we are talking about, which is the one I raised in the earlier the statement of 17.3 billion unaccounted for money. That's what we're talking about. But it is a compounded figure. It is worrisome, though, even if it's a compounded figure, because we need to, more especially because it is not going down even in the new work. It is still going up. So your concern is what our concerns are. Yeah. We agree with you.
I mean, Robert, let's talk about what that 2 billion rand of underspending. Let's focus on that figure of over 2 billion rand that's been underspent on the department. I mean, there are many communities around the country that can think of many ways in terms of water and infrastructure, water and sanitation infrastructure, how that money could have been spent. But the regional bulk infrastructure grant, the water services infrastructure grant, and the bucket eradication program, these are just some of the major programs that could have benefited from that 2 billion rand.
We can't agree with you more. For instance, take your bucket eradication process. We know where they are. When we came into the office, there were about 2.7 million, 270 of them in 2,700 of them in Northwest, and there were about 10,200 and something of them in Free State. And this is, remember, this is a bucket system that are informal areas which were supposed not to be there. So when we came in, we committed money. We needed to do that with the Minister Sisulu. And then Mr. Sisulu took that budget and gave it to an entity called HTA. They couldn't implement. For now, only 2,700 of the Northwest have been done with. The 10,000 of Free State still stands.
Yeah.
And that money could not be spent because we could not do it. And it is on the basis of these funds being moved up and down. And the minister has agreed that that was a dilemma, but we're dealing with that. So the issue of your RBIC, it's also it's a bigger issue because the municipalities must give these services to people. And the municipalities are not applying for this money. If they do, their plans are not compoundable. Or if they do have plans, otherwise they do not even have plans. They want you to give money, and when you give them money for infrastructure, they end up paying for something different from the infrastructure. Hence, impressionally, you must give them as and when they give you the plan. If they don't give you the plan, don't give the money. The money then becomes a money that is sitting in the department. With that in mind, we as a department, we want money being spent. We want communities to benefit. Whether it is a municipality or it is a department, the department has a responsibility to oversight and work on the municipalities that are not necessarily
so Robert,
doing their work.
In terms of the community's job here and its oversight function as the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation, aside from asking for explanations about how this underspending took place, what else is in the power of the Portfolio Committee in terms of sanctions for the department?
Look, the Portfolio Committee, as you're saying, it is an oversight committee. Generally, we are an afterthought in terms of expenditure, but we are a prerequisite in terms of the budget. So those two contradictions to coexist. We pass the budget. It is us who are passing the budget for them after having proposal. But when they must spend first and then come and report to us. Now, it comes to you as an afterthought that they did not spend. But if you are an active portfolio committee, you will do oversight committees on sites, you will do oversight committees on projects and so forth and so on. We do really found that at some point communities are playing a role also of non-spending. For instance, in the vow, when you want to implement it, bring rainwater for them to do their work because they have got no capacity. Municipal employees themselves stop the project because they believe their employment is at stake. Communities themselves, because they are part of the employees are part of the communities, so they connive to stop the project. Contractors, these construction work that demand the 30% beneficiations of which they miscalculate in that 30%. They stop projects because they want that money. So in the bigger scheme of things, communities sometimes contribute into their non-receiving of these services because they are too political on these issues. They want their sons and daughters to have duty, their work being defended for. But also there are business people of the same area who are stopping the project. But we are government. We are saying to them, we are government, we need to be in a position to plan better and diffuse such situations in order for communities to benefit.
Yeah, multi-pronged problems here in the Department of Water and Sanitation. That 2 billion rand underspending. There's also under expenditure of over 112 million rand in terms of a reduction in filling vacancies. Ironic, really, all of this underspending in a department where there is so much need insofar as clean running water and sanitation is concerned. Robert, let me thank you for your time this morning. Robert Mashego is the chairperson of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation.